Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Thursday Night Throwdown. I almost screwed up there. Great way to start off the game. This is a D&D 4th edition.
He's just going to nod and start walking.
Okay.
Okay, then.
So, Reese and Thaddeus have about 20-25 minutes of time to kill at the well. Is there anything you guys want to do while you were there, or are you just going to continue to wait for the rest of the group to show up?
I think Thaddeus was complaining about how smelly me and Yorick are.
Yeah, he is.
I'm just explaining to Reese, whether he cares to listen to it or not, because oftentimes it's hard to tell whether I'm talking to myself or to the people around me. I will just begin to lament the intricacies of the combination of body odor that comes off of a Minotaur and a Dragonborn when accompanied together.
Just a heads up, lizards don't actually have sweat glands.
Is that in real life? Because
That's in real life. Just lizards don't, or reptiles don't have sweat
for
glands.
the purposes of my character's complaint, you sweat quite
You'd complain anyway.
I mean, it's quite easy, or it's quite possible that the scent that he is smelling is just built up of dirt and blood, and I mean, just because lizards do not sweat doesn't mean like they can't get any scents on them. So it might not be a body odor, as opposed to it's just like smells from being outside and being dirty. But I mean, he's
being of the lower class.
Yeah.
You might not have wiped your vent very well that day.
I'm no zoologist, and quite honestly, your anatomy is really not important to me.
But yeah, are you guys actually just going to wait for the additional 20-25 minutes, or?
I would like to say, I guess, around the well to see, when everybody else shows up, but I still wouldn't mind poking around a bit to see if there's any, additional information we can get out of this flower. Seems like, as it seems to be the kind of only lead that we've got right now.
Okay.
So again, maybe check for a florist or an apothecary or something like that.
Well, you do find a florist right down here at this house. So it's still within sight of the well.
Good enough.
And by this time, it's getting to be about 4 in the afternoon. So, I mean, you open up the door and you hear like a soft chime of a bell, and a middle-aged woman greets you and welcomes you to her shop, and asks if there is anything that she could help you with.
In fact, there is. I will produce the much fresher flower and ask her what she knows about this flower.
It's pretty.
She kind of looks shocked and says, "Where did you get this?"
That wasn't my question.
She says, "Well, the night veil flower, which grows in bogs, swamps, and sometimes, or not sometimes, and commonly in the Shadowfell, is rather poisonous, and if prepared properly, makes a lethal poison."
Do you know of anywhere around here that happens to grow this plant?
She kind of thinks and paces back and forth. I mean, from her perspective, this guy just walks in with this fresh, poisonous flowers. Just you know what this is? That seems a little intimidating. She's
yes, and let us not forget that Reese has a 6 charisma.
Yeah. What is this?
He doesn't really give a shit.
She says, "I've heard stories that they used to grow in the Harrowsdale Bog, but I have not been able to confirm that. I mean, I've never gone looking for this flower, as it tends to bring with it nothing but bad luck and trouble.
Kind of like what's already beset your town?
Yes, and also people look at you a little weird when you carry a flower that can be turned into a poison.
I'm used to that. I'll tuck it back away in my pouch. Is there anything else you could possibly tell me about this flower that may be of use?
She says, well, from the looks of it, it has been plucked just within a day or two.
I would assume that would be when it's most potent.
Yes, within the first 3 days is when you're able to make the poison, if given the right conditions. I don't know of the recipe required, but I hear that it's within the first 3 days.
I'm not asking for the recipe, honey. What about to dry the flower? How long would that take?
A week, maybe 2?
So fairly quickly then.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough, giving their like for bogs and swamps. I'm sure they prefer wet climates.
Yes, the soil must be incredibly moist for them to flourish. There also has to be peat within the soil. High amounts of it.
So it is possible that it could be grown privately outside of a bog or swamp, should a person have enough peat.
Yes, it's as long as you have the right conditions, a person can grow any flower outside of their natural habitats.
You wouldn't happen to know of anybody outside of yourself that would be capable of growing these?
She says, if anyone with the knowledge could, this town holds many farmers that spend their entire lives growing plants.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
She just nods her head and looks kind of warily at you because you haven't explained that you're here looking for children. You just want...
He's just like, how do I grow this?
Yeah.
Thank you. Goodbye.
How do I grow this poisonous flower? Excellent.
Oh, man.
Who else can
Yes.
grow it?
Do you know any suppliers?
Yeah.
6 charisma. He doesn't give a shit what her opinions are. He just wants his questions answered.
That's never gonna get old.
She can go tell the guards if she wants. I don't give a fuck. At that, I will return to the well, I suppose, with Thaddeus likely still muttering to himself.
Yep.
He probably hasn't even realized that you left.
No.
But you arrive back at the well and ponder over this, and a couple of minutes later, Rogar and Yorick both show up.
Okay, I'll go over to the muttering Thaddeus and the Reese, and I'll say, well, we couldn't find any flowers, but it's been 4 days and it's been raining apparently, so there's not much hope on that front. We did, however, find a shoe, possibly from the missing girl. No one comments or anything?
Possibly from the missing girl.
I say, well,
cool.
it looks
So
about.
what you're gonna do with one shoe? I mean, you don't even have a pair.
It looks about the age of the
Cool.
missing girl. Although, I have not seen this girl's shoe wear before, so it could be someone else's. And then I'll explain. I say, well, I was planning on doing that once we go back next. I just wanted to get back here since we took a while looking for the flower. And then I'll explain the laughing. I said, well, according to the girl playing hide and seek with the missing child before she disappeared, she heard strange laughter coming from the area that the missing girl was disappeared from.
Well, that's new.
Did you find a flower at your missing person's location?
We did.
Yes.
The flower seems to have been. It seemed like it was placed whole intentionally there. If I had to guess, I would say it was a calling card of some sort, but as far as we can tell, it still seems like Harrowsdale Bog seems to be the best local source for this plant.
I nod my head at this. I say, okay, well, perhaps that should be where we search once we visit the farmstead again.
What farmstead?
The Malsara girl's family.
The Olivers.
Yeah, but she was Malsara Oliver, wasn't she?
Yep, that's why I said the Olivers.
Well, I just said the Malsara girl's family.
Okay.
Wait, so you want to go back there? Didn't you just come
Say,
from there?
well, yeah, but they may find some solace in their child's shoe. I'm not sure.
Why didn't you?
At least there's
give
some
it
sign of her.
before you-
We both took a roundabout way on the way out looking for the flower.
All right, I'll just keep smoking my pipe. I begin
I'll go
tapping
back
my
with Yorick and Robert.
Yeah, I was kind of assuming we'd all go back as a group, but if you're just going to stay there, we'll just run over and deliver the shoe, basically.
I'm not an
Well, I'll
errand
just
boy.
yeah, you're a von Hasselhoff.
Yeah,
But
God damn it.
I'll
I
just
deliver
get there,
flowers for no man.
knock on the door, and when they answer, if the servant from earlier answers, I'll ask for the owners of the house again. If they answer, I'll just basically give them the shoe and explain where we found it.
No, it is the servant, and after you ask for the owner, she of course invites you back in and goes off to find the owner. And once again, Mr. Oliver comes out much quicker than the first time. Seems like he might have been waiting for your arrival. And upon seeing you, he goes, "Yes. Did you find anything?"
I say, we may have found a sign, and then I pull the shoe out of my my belt pouch, and I ask him if this is the shoe his daughter was wearing the day she disappeared.
You probably don't even have to ask him that, because as soon as this shoe is made apparent, like, you can see the recognition on his face of that shoe. And he kind of just holds up both his hands and says, That's my Sarah's shoe. Where did you find her?"
I say, not yet, but we may have a lead, not only for your daughter, but for the whole disappearance case. And then I say, the shoe was strangely found up a tree. I trust the rain wasn't big enough to wash it up there? There wasn't any floods or anything recently?
No, just light rains. I mean, it's getting close to the winter. It's been a very damp month.
Yeah, well, I nod my head along with him saying that, and I say, well, thank you for the information. Is there anything you've thought of since I was last here?
No, but you say you found this in the tree?
And I explained it was actually about, well, what does my character think? It was about 10, 11 feet up the tree?
Yeah, well, probably over 10. You're looking like 11, 12.
Okay, well, I'll point that out to him. I'll say it was about 11, 12 feet up the tree.
And he's confusion kind of like just washes over his face, and he says like, I don't understand. Malsera was terrified of heights. She'd never climb a tree.
Say, perhaps whatever abducted her grabbed her from up the tree. Do you know of any local creature or stories about something that stays in trees and is dangerous? Possibly big enough to take a child?
Well, there's the Jabberwocky. He once again shakes his head like, no, I mean, the most we've ever had to really deal with is the occasional goblins. Never something that lives in a tree and takes children.
Well, I'll nod my head along with him, and I'll thank him again for his time, and I'll offer him the shoe. I mean, it's probably good to have at least a memento of his possibly dead and eaten child.
He takes a shoe and like he's cupping it in both hands and just like fixated on it. And he looks at he's like, is there anything else I can help you with? His attention kind of seems like pulled to the where's your room. He says, oh yes, follow me. And he leads you upstairs. Like this is another like 3-story house. Well, I mean it's a big farmhouse. So he leads you up to the top floor and shows you to this fairly large room, like especially for a child. And I mean, like you can see a bunch of like there's like 2 doll houses, like a rocking horse kind of thing, like very, very not fancy, but I mean like she has a lot of toys. And he's like, this is her room, and you know it's like on the sheets and whatnot, it's floral patterns. I mean, it looks very girly, very kid-like. I mean,
I'd like to go over the same kind of stuff that I have. You know, Thaddeus seems to think that it's like a calling card, so I wonder if perhaps, you know, even the children that are abducted from, like, during the day, you know, if it is a calling card, then maybe they still go back to the house. So I would still like to look for the flower in and around the bed. That seems to be where it's been, you know, used or left previously. So
okay,
or the entire room, given enough time.
If you want to take the time to do the room, we can do that. And either way, I'll have you make a perception check. What is Yorick and Roger gonna do?
Well, if he's looking around the room, I'll try to help him. Can you assist on perception checks?
Yes, you can.
Okay, well, I'll just go for an assist then.
Yeah, I mean, Yorick would just be looking around as well.
So you're gonna aid them both. Okay, so that's
yeah. Well, if I can with one action, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just look around the room, try to give them a hand.
So that's additional.
Of course, I destroy his roll. So.
That's how you aid him. You confirm that even with all three of you kind of looking around and whatnot, you do not spot the flower or anything really out of the ordinary. This seems like a normal 10-year-old girl's room.
Now, one thing I'm curious about, is there a window by her bed or something?
Not by her bed, but there is a window.
So there's one in her room at
yes.
least. Okay, and
no, it has not been cleaned up.
Did I go into any of the other rooms that children were abducted from? I don't think I did I?
Nope. The only one that's been in any of the rooms so far has been Reese and Thaddeus.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to ask something, but I wouldn't know. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to ask. I'll ask the Reese and Jorik if they have any questions for Mr. Oliver.
No, I'd be done and leaving.
Just like, nope, no flower, I'm gone.
Yeah, it doesn't even let you guys know, just walks out of the room.
Just starts walking away. Jorik's still searching because he got a better roll. But if no one else has any questions, I'll just thank him for his time again, and promise that if we do find anything, we'll update him. And again, if he does know of anything, or if he talks to someone who knows of something, just try to get them to tell whatever thing they know to the mayor.
He nods and says, yes. If I hear anything or learn of anything, I will definitely inform you or the mayor. Anything to get my Sarah back.
Okay. I'll bid him goodbye then, and head out.
Alright, Thaddeus, while they're doing their thing, what are you going to be doing?
Sean, you muted yourself or something?
I was definitely muted. I'm gonna lean against the well and puff on my pipe. And I find, in a small town like this, usually the market's fairly busy. Is it still busy? I don't know what time of day it currently is.
It's by this point, it's 4:30 going on to 5.
Are there lots of people? Because I noticed the well is right in the middle of the marketplace.
Yep.
Right. So
fairly busy. I mean, there's a good 24 people around, maybe a little bit more. I mean, it comes and goes and fluxes.
Really what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke on my pipe and eavesdrop and kind of people watch and see if I can pick up anything useful amongst the townspeople just gossiping to themselves.
Alright, I'll have you make either a perception check or a streetwise, whichever is higher.
Probably perception, yeah. Still not that high. 17.
While you're able to kind of pick up on people's conversation, it seems like the only, stuff that they talk about that's out of the ordinary from their day-to-day, like, hey, how you doing, have you heard, blah, 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 it has to do with you and your companions. The fact that, there's some strangers in town, but they seem to be working with the mayor to help try and find the children.
Do I hear them mention the von Hasselhoff name at all? Just to stroke my ego a little bit.
Yes, it is mentioned frequently that one of the members is of the von Hasselhoff family, and that seems to be inspiring them. However, it does seem like they think that it is your brother that is here and not you.
Oh, God. Those motherfuckers. Alright, fucking David.
So we just get back and you're like, we're leaving this town. I don't care they've got kids missing. They deserve it.
Yeah, these fucking peasants don't deserve my help.
Or he's just yelling, it's fucking Thaddeus!
Yeah, just at the whole town, I'm just standing at the well, just fuming. What is wrong with you people? David doesn't do shit!
Get a shirt that says, I am Thaddeus.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is he going to stitch his name across his chest?
So I will just continue to puff on my pipe and wait for the others to finish doing whatever useless things they're doing.
Alright, so by the time they return, it's the supper hour, so it's 5, maybe 5:15, And, I mean, you guys return to the well, and you find Thaddeus at the well puffing on his pipe, and he seems a little perturbed, but he hasn't said anything. Hey, but he is casting almost like dagger glances at some of the people around that don't even seem to be, like, directing their attention at him, but he seems right, like, catty about something.
I'll just assume nobles being nobles.
I comment on how this town seems to be full of races.
What?
You just get a chuckle out of York.
Man, you gotta hear the shit they say about minotaurs and Dracula.
Yeah. You should have heard what these fucking farmers were saying about y'all while you were gone. Terrible thing.
Well, do you actually say that in character, like the racist comment?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Okay, well, I'll just say I haven't had any problems with people yet. What have they been saying?
Well, I wouldn't even speak such foul things to you. I mean, it's just Rogar. It's beneath you, you know. Just don't worry about it. They're farmers. At the end of the day, they have to accept their lot in life.
Can I actually roll an insight check or something?
Yeah, if I'll also have Thaddeus roll a bluff.
My wonderful +0.
That's,
Yeah.
if it makes you feel any better.
I have a +0 to my bluff.
Yes.
So these are just...
So it's just a roll-off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whoever rolls higher.
You go first. Ah, shit.
Oh.
Yes! 17 does beat 7.
So you know, like, he is lying about them having been racist.
Okay, I'll just look at him very confused and not mention it. But I'll bring up that, you know, nothing's really changed at the farm situation. It's getting late. Do we want to really be trekking into some swamp in the middle of the night?
Probably not the best idea.
Mm.
I mean, I don't mind the dark, but
I say, well, we would have torches, but I think in a swamp it would be best to have full daylight, not just torchlight.
I mean, you'd also have sun rods, and sun rods are fucking ridiculous.
Mm. Well, do we know, like, how long it would take to walk to the swamp around about?
4, maybe 5 hours.
Okay, so it'd basically be midnight by the time we got there. We could get to the outskirts and camp. I'll actually mention that in character. I'll say we could walk there and camp overnight, but then if another disappearance happens here overnight, we wouldn't be able to investigate a fresh crime scene. Well, I'll just say a fresh scene, because I don't think crime scene would be a word back then, would it?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'll just say... yeah, I'll just say scene.
Yeah, scene probably would work. Although, you know, his crime scene probably could work, now that I think about it. Because it would be the scene of the crime, so...
Well, no, I'll just say the location of the crime, because that kind of seems more fantasy-like.
Yep.
Ye old crime scene-y.
You are the location of the crime.
I'm perfectly fine with going there and camping. Even though if there is a fresh location of crime, I don't know how much it would help us. It may help, but it seems like right now indications are towards the bog.
yeah, I'd agree. I mean, it still really doesn't matter if we sleep here. Then okay, if there's a new crime, yeah, we can check it before we go, or we can head out and camp and at least be there, I guess, you know, at the break of dawn as opposed to 10 o'clock kind of thing.
You know, I understand not wanting to go into the swamp at night, but I certainly would feel better the quicker we acted. The clock's kind of ticking once these children go missing. So the longer we take to find them, the less the chance that we find them.
Okay.
I'm in favor of camping tonight in front of the swamp. Or outside
in
the swamp.
Rogar's mind, that's 3 votes to 1, so he won't even mention his opinion. So I'll just nod along and say, well, do you all have food for rations along the trip? Or do you want to eat before we go?
I'm fine.
I have no
Good to go.
problems with food.
Okay. Well, I'm going to suggest we check in with the mayor before we go, just so he knows that we're not going to be in the town.
I'm pretty sure we can just let Jorah kind of graze for a little bit and he'll be good.
If you say that, you're going for a swim, buddy. I
But you said the
guarantee he
town
can
were
do
the
it.
racists, not you.
So are you guys going to let Duncan know that you will be outside of the town?
Yeah. Well, and while I'm there, I'll ask if anyone's come up with any new information or something.
Why we need to talk to Duncan again? He wasn't very helpful in the first place.
Yeah, but he's also the leader of this community, which in Rogar's mind makes him the boss of this community in every single way.
That he's failed to really help.
Maybe not, but that's their problem. If they haven't elected a good leader or ensured their leadership is strong, that's not his problem, but he's still the representative of the clan of Maplecrest.
I'm not going to bother going back to see the mayor. I mean, I'll wait around for whoever else will, but Reese is thoroughly convinced that he's useless and doesn't really need any information.
Thaddeus is of the same mind, so he, if need be, I'll wait on whoever, but I'm very interested in departing the town and heading for camp.
Okay, so I think it's just me then, is it? Unless Reese wants to suddenly gain 6 charisma and come with me?
I already said that I'm not going.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's just the giant scary dragonborn. Yay.
Alright, I mean, you once again head up to his house and knock, and he once again opens up the door and says, yes, what can I help you with?
I just wanted to notify you that we're chasing a possible lead in, what was it, the swamp's called? The swamps of
Harrowsdale Bog.
Okay, I'll just say we're pursuing a possible lead in Harrowsdale Bog. I just wanted to notify you that we won't be in town tonight in case something does happen. And I'll wait for him to comment. If he doesn't, I'll just keep going.
He doesn't
comment, or
no.
Okay,
He just kind of nods.
I'll say, has anyone come in with additional information? I've been trying to spread the word that if they know anything, they should tell it to you.
No, I have not had any other visitors other than yourselves. I must say, in the month that this has been going on, you 4 have managed to accomplish more in the short few hours than we have the entire time, which saddens me, but at the same time it also offers me a little bit of relief.
Unfortunately, the motivations of coin can sometimes bring about even more attentiveness than the loss of offspring. But I'll nod to him after I say that, and I'll say, we should be back tomorrow, late, unless something comes up. But don't send a search party unless we're over 3 days late.
I will keep that in mind.
And then I'll head off.
And I'm assuming you guys will, or you'll meet up with the rest of the party, and then you guys are going to head towards the bog?
Yes.
Sounds like.
Leaving the edges of town, you enter the Maplecrest Forest, the looming trees with their large canopy blotting out what little sunlight is left of the day. Small patches of light, however, breach through the leaves, creating small beacons of hope amidst the darkness that swells within. All around you, you hear the sounds of various animals. Some you know, but many you don't. The further you delve deeper into the forest, the more the sensation of eyes following your forms seems to grow. 3 hours slip by. The small trail that you had been following has long since disappeared, leaving you to move through the thick of the forest. With no clear path, your travel has slowed down. Tangled, gnarled roots reach up from the ground almost as if they are actively seeking to entangle your legs. Finally, a break seems to befall your party, the ground flattening out and the trees edging away into a small clearing. Your group was about halfway through it when growls began to rise up from the edges of the trees ahead of you, followed by the quickly appearing forms of several crimson eyes. Bounding forth from the edges of the trees are 4 wolves, with their gaunt frames covered in molted and matted gray fur. And that is where we're going to end for tonight. I think we'd go over our time limit if we got into this fight, but I think this is good place to leave it after pretty much 3.5 hours of searching. You guys are on the cusp of your first battle.
We're gonna fuck them up.
I think that's the plan. I want to thank you guys for playing, and those that have stopped in or stuck out with the watching. This has gone exceptionally well for our very first episode. Obviously, this was a little bit more quote-unquote role-play oriented session, but I'm very happy with how it's gone, and I will see everyone next week.